longer going to have any desire to appeal to a crowd of academics when it comes to problems regarding consciousness. And I wasn't really even trying to before, but there's always a look people want to things that sound smart. It's not about being smart. A lot of the methodologies to understand consciousness have to do with dealing with consciousness itself, because math and science are its tools. Math and science are great. I love the topics, the problem solving, the technicality, the desire to be genuinely curious about our reality and how it works. It's great. But just like anything else, it also has its limitations. And I need to be willing to admit that online, that I'm not going to abandon these tools, but I am going to use them for what they are, tools. I really encourage you to take a look at my previous blog post where I talk about the limitations of math and reasoning itself. With darkness in Tantra, it's fertile ground for transformation. I am speaking as someone who has had CPTSD, depersonalization derealization disorder, dissociative disorder, scrupulosity, false memory, hyper-awareness, existential OCD, a blend of neurosis, psychosis, paranoia, hallucinations. And the thing that helped me from all of that had nothing to do with talk therapy. I mean, I can, of course, break things down in future videos. However, it was dealing with consciousness itself. And that is why I am even really here, because I actually want to help people with the tools I know are effective that come from Tantra. And there's so much wisdom that's been lost. And even in modern medicine, we kind of have a just give you a pill type of thing. I'm not saying medicine is bad either, right? We don't have to live in realities of this or that. It can be both and. But medicine too, it's not always, I can't say if I know of any medicine that's really getting to the root cause of something and entirely removing it, at least in this realm. And that medicine is going to come from within for you. But actual external pills can be really great guides to at least help with symptoms. So I personally never took any medication, even though there was a point in time in life it was so bad that I desired not waking up anymore, and it was really awful because I had 24 years of torture and abuse. And just as life was finally getting better for once, I got hit with a train with all of this. And though my background is a bachelor's degree in computer science from Georgia Tech, as a child, I've always been a lover of the cosmos. I always wanted to get to know them, everything about them, travel. But this didn't appear pragmatic. Divine timing is a funny thing, because you got to be careful what you wish for. You're going to get it. And knowing the cosmos has a lot less to do with knowing distance between planets and looking at gamma ray bursts from stars, and more to do with actual embodiment of them. Embodiment of the cosmos can't come in if there's gunk getting in the way. So in my personal journey, which if people are curious about my journey of how I did this and what my story with Tantra and Shiva is, let me know, because I can break it down. It's one of the coolest things to ever happen in my life. It might be the coolest thing that happened in my life. But the life I had before these symptoms, where it felt like my consciousness was broken and there was no coming back. The life I had before was, symptom-free, but still a terrible life. I can say with 100% confidence now, through self-experimentation and rigorous and austere practices, I no longer have these symptoms, but those symptoms have been transformed. So not only do I live a life symptom-free, but I have a life today that's 10 times better than the life that I had before. I am in love with waking up each day. I'm entirely fulfilled. And I I can only really say this because I know myself in private, but it's very different to say it out loud and be vulnerable, and admit that, like, now moving forward, this is the way I plan on addressing things. And, because we all worry about losing friends or losing that appeal to ethos, but experience is the ethos. And consciousness, being a fundamental force in the cosmos, shows itself, maybe not through direct science and math that scientists themselves kind of, whatever, they're doing their thing, but it leaves a trace. And that trace is going to feel unexplainable. That trace is going to feel like, no matter how much logic I apply, why isn't it working? Why am I constantly in suffering? Why do the symptoms continue to loop? Consciousness is unique to everyone. It's a difficult issue to work with, I understand, because subjectivity is different for every single person. If it was exactly the same, another human being wouldn't have to exist. Computer science terms, like a shade of red that's got this hex value, but then you slightly shift it one little shade, it still needs another space in memory. It has another memory address. Unless it's exactly the same, there's no need for you to take up extra space or another human being to exist. So the fact that multiple human beings exist is indication that that subjectivity, no matter how similar, is still a little bit different. This is great news. I know it doesn't sound like it, but the same something and everything existing and everyone experiencing it makes it objective enough for me. And it also shows us that the answer is within, which sometimes sucks because you're like, okay, good news, don't have to look anywhere. Bad news, how long is this going to take? Am I going to make it? How's it going to work? So ultimately, once we admit, and really it's me, and we act on working with these, what we call psychiatric disorders, from a place of understanding that consciousness is not an emergent property from an integrated neural system here, but rather as something that is fundamental, and our brain is filtering this universal field of consciousness, we will have that much more of a precise understanding. And also, the best part is knowing where limitations are. That is extremely valuable, because then you know where the journey of one tool ends and the initiation of another tool can begin. We can actually help people at the root cause level. Darkness as an experience is an opportunity for all of us to find our unique fulfillment and live a life that we've never seen before. Transformation is the greatest gift that we can offer a human being. It gives them access to their own divinity. For you as a listener to know that you can go from 0 to 100 or 100 to 0 in anything, wouldn't that make you feel powerful? But we live in such a static society. Oh, it's always got to be this way. You know how it is. This is that and this is this, or we don't know enough about this, or that person's just hallucinating. It's just in their head. How many of you have heard that? But for you, it's something much deeper. Like, even when you're talking about a dream to your friends, you could describe everything in logical detail. You can talk about the somatic experience. But more often than not, you're going to end the statement with, you just had to be there. Because we don't look at experience as data enough. And now it's time we do. And that's the work I intend to do with Shivoham Labs when dealing with dark consciousness.